Well, hello everyone. It's been a long time no talk, unfortunately, since I love doing these vlogs. It gives me some kind of, like some self-therapy. I don't know if it does you anything or if you miss me or all, but, I like to do it regardless if I get anybody to view it or not. But I've gotten a lot of good feedback, so that's a good thing. Anywho, since I got my computer fixed because it was hacked in about the 100th time, and but from an unwanted source, and I can actually say it wasn't by a virus. Unfortunately, it was, well, viruses are bad, but it was from somebody that shouldn't be messing with my stuff. I've dealt with that for years, but anyway, that's not the point. I was all weekend long. I was sitting around, having a brainstorm of what I should do a blog on, and I just had a brain freeze. I couldn't think of anything. And yesterday thought, well, I'm going to do something productive instead of be on the internet because it can be addictive. And I went out and started weeding my garden, my flower beds and stuff. And I thought, perfect, blog to do. My title is Good Weed, Bad Weed. And to all you stoners, no, it's not about marijuana or MJ or, spinach or whatever you want to call it, herb or whatever. It's about life, my life theories. How I, analyzed this as I was going through the, pulling weeds, and I was pruning the flowers, and I realized you got to know how to distinguish between a good weed and a bad weed, okay? Because the weeds are mixed in with the good weeds, and it's hard to tell. Those dandelions, it goes way back in our childhood when, we're out in the outside and we take in a big old bouquet of flowers to our mom. Well, we think it's flowers, and we're so happy and proud, and they're nothing but dandelions. Even though mom was always happy to get them, little did we know it was a weed that we pulled. And that's all it starts out as, it's the beginning. We learn. We didn't know it was the weed back then. Unfortunately, we're so darn innocent, naive. Pick those dandelions. We think they're gorgeous. Little do they know, weed killer will kill them all. Anyway, I was pulling all this stuff out. I'm like, yeah, in our life, we go through these times in our life that there's times that the weed looks good, as you stoners would think, marijuana, and we realize that sometimes we don't realize it until later when it's too late, or we're too into it, and we find out that bad weed that we think's good is entangling all the good weed. And we need to learn how to distinguish between good and bad, and sometimes it takes practice, just like a gardener. It takes going through a lot of weeds to find the good one, but eventually we will. But it's a continuous process, just like the garden. We pull the weeds and they're going to come back. We always are encountered by bad weeds. I'm not saying anybody is better than anybody, because like my other blogs, my theories, I know I do not believe I'm better than anybody. I'm friends with all different types of people that are considered stoners, people that are considered losers, the people that are considered preps, jocks, prudes, prisses, everybody. Being a nurse, and I gotta wear those shoes. I gotta wear the shoes of a nurse, shoes of an educator, shoes of a mom, shoes of a, when I'm out in the town with my friends and clubbing, I'm wild. You gotta know how to wear those shoes, just like you gotta know when to distinguish between a good and a bad weed. Fortunately, that's a continuous lesson. And we have to, sometimes we feel like we're pulling weeds nonstop, and lately I feel like I have. But, all you stoners may be watching this and thinking, hey, all weed is good. No, well, that marijuana too may be good, but it has its downfalls, and it has its bad points about it. The results of it can, you could lose your job from it. But that's beside the point. I'm not saying that I, never, been in that situation, but that's another story. Anyway, it just, that was my theory. And my theory is if guys would let us know that, they want to entangle us and they want to tell us that, that we're crazy because we didn't know they were bad, well, it must be their problem, they just need to be honest with us. I mean, that's just part of life. Um, we may want to, nourish and nourish and nourish and water that freaking weed and not know it's a weed and think it's a flower, to find out that weed's not going to do nothing for us but entangle our life and give us nothing back in return. Okay? So then it'll just totally take over our life. That can be with anything. That can be with friends, family, people that we hang out with. That's not right, not good to be with. Like I said, I'm not saying that they're better than us or we're better than them, but in our life it may not be a good thing. It can be also situations like our job. We got to know what's good and what's bad. What job's best for us and what's not. You just got to distinguish what's good and what's not. Good weed, bad weed. So I just wanted to thank you for listening to my vlogs. I thank you for the awesome feedback I've been getting. I do it, like I said, more or less for my pleasure and for my therapy. It's kind of like a journal, but I'm talking, and I feel like I'm talking to somebody, which is kind of weird. At least I'm not answering back. But I'm going to do a theory also, a blog on what men want after this one, and I want some feedback on that as well. But this was about good weed, bad weed, and no, it wasn't about marijuana. So I would like your feedback, though, on any of these vlogs, because if you're on my friends list, because it's only viewable by friends, I would expect some feedback, because you're my friend, right? Anyway, you guys have a great night or a great week, and make sure to read or listen to all my blogs and provide me some feedback in a bulletin, message, or Yahoo. I have my ID on my profile. Okay? You have a good week. Thanks. Bye.